Welcome back to the news at 10, and it's time for sports news with Olumide Macaulay.
Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us on Sports News. For the fourth time at the finals of the FIFA World Cup, Nigeria will be facing Argentina at the group stage. At the draw, which took place today in Salvador, Brazil, the African champions were drawn in Group F alongside Bosnia-Herzegovina and Iran. Meanwhile, Cameroon will slug it out with host nation Brazil, Croatia and Mexico in Group A. In Group B, world champion Spain will contend with the Netherlands, Chile and Australia. Still on the World Cup draw, FIFA President Sepp Blatter said he's happy with the success of the ceremony. He said the organizers in the various cities are excited and happy with the distribution of the teams in different groups and tip England and Germany to go far in the tournament. And finally, sports personalities all over the world are paying tribute to the late Nelson Mandela, who died at the age of 95. The former South African president was an inspirational leader who used sports to achieve world peace and unity.
I'm full of emotions because we had been so close together, and he said sport has united the people in South Africa, and the victory was sport, and especially football, because football was the game of the black people there, and not the other sports like cricket or rugby. They're still for the other, but football was the right one. And here also, in a multicultural country like Brazil, football shall unite people.
Nelson Mandela is a great man. I happen to be one of the lucky people who have met him, shook hands with him, and that was in 1990 when he was at the University of Lagos, just a few months after his release, and was honored with a doctorate. He did inspire a generation of potential leaders in this country as well, because when he came, he spoke about the situation of Nigeria as it was in 1990.
And that's Sports News. Thanks for watching. I'm Olumide Macaulay. News at 10 continues just now.
Unveiling the new look of Guinness. Discover a colorful world of more.
Now, on the foreign scene, Northern Europe is experiencing severe weather, which has caused massive devastation and loss of lives. Our Foreign Affairs correspondent, Temitope Fagbemi, tells us more.
Force winds and tidal surges have killed at least 7 people in Northern Europe, flooded parts of Hamburg and left thousands of homes without electricity. Dozens of flights have been cancelled, hitting travelers at Berlin, Togo, Copenhagen and smaller airports. Many rail and ferry services were also cut in Germany and Scandinavia. Meanwhile, Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula has claimed responsibility for the attack on Yemen's defense ministry on Thursday, an attack that left 52 people dead. The group's media arm, Al-Malahin, said the ministry complex in Sanaa had been targeted because US unmanned drones were being operated from there. Well, finally, an Egyptian cleric abducted in Italy as part of the CIA's extraordinary rendition program has been convicted of terrorism charges by a Milan court. Abu Oba, also known as Hassan Mustafa Osman-Nazir, was also sentenced in absentia to 6 years in prison. And that's the foreign news wrap-up.
And for more on the life and times of former South African President Nelson Mandela and how he inspired artists this time across the world, let's join Mayawa Gundele for entertainment news.
Tribute for the man Nelson Mandela began even during his lifetime. His enviable legacy has inspired many musical records performed by renowned artists across the world. In honor of that legacy, Entertainment News compiled some of the records inspired by the man fondly known as Madiba.
Though he's passed away, Nelson Mandela's legacy as one of the world's most influential civil rights leaders will live on in many ways. Films, biographies and multimedia exhibits all attest to the lasting impact Mandela has had on Africa and the world at large.
Freedom, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die.
Is one man whose rare and enviable track records have ensured that he is well celebrated even during his lifetime. It's no surprise that he is the subject of countless musical tributes spanning over various genres. Legendary Miriam Makeba, before his 1990 freedom, called him a precious piece of ground, while Hugh Masekela prayed for his freedom alongside Paul Simmons. South African pop giant Brenda Fassie called him the Black President. The hip-hop community also added its voice to the songs of Mandela, calling him the prophet of the city. In Nigeria, popular entertainers were all inspired by the tales of the man proudly called Tata, meaning Papa in his native tongue. Jack Fishek, Sonia Kosun, Fuji icon Quality Naila saluted the African symbol of freedom. The legacy of this Nobel Peace Prize winner will endure not just within the folds of history books, but also forever in the hearts of people around the world, inspired by Mandela's fight for peace and freedom.
That's it from me. The main news continues shortly.
Well, we also have some physical artistic presence of Nelson Mandela here in Nigeria. Just a few weeks ago, the Delta State government erected a statue of the South African icon and freedom fighter. Some visitors were at the park, known as Mandela Garden of 95 trees, located beside the Asaba International Airport. There was also a special church service for Africa's greatest son. And the main news again. The world has begun mourning Nelson Mandela, the man South Africans fondly referred to as Madiba. And finally tonight, we leave you with some memorable excerpts from the speeches and interviews of the late Nelson Mandela.
When I went to school, the lady teacher, Miss Mdingane, asked, "What is your name?" I told him my African name, Khodislas. He says, "No, I don't want that one. You must have a Christian name." So I say, "No, I don't have one." She says, and from today you are going to be Nelson." It was when I came into the African National Congress that I realized that Xhosas are only a part of the African people. That the task of the ANC was to unite the African people and out of them build a nation.
I have cherished the idea of a democratic and free society in which all persons will live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an idea for which I hope to live for. But my Lord, if it needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die.
Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression